Hi, I'm Holly, and with my sister Heather, you're listening to Haunted Family Podcast, a weekly podcast about the paranormal, unsolved mysteries, and even some true crime.
Yes.
Correct. I am hoping that I do not have to stop and kick cats out of my room, but that's where we're at right now.
I will not have to stop and kick any cats out of my room because I have no cats in my room.
It's because you have no cats.
Exactly.
I'm kind of bittersweet. Like, the girls are moving out, like the older girls, Abby and Hannah, and I am converting their room into a studio slash craft room slash YouTube recording room.
Not for Holly to record YouTube because she does not want to do YouTube.
I may on occasion do a haunted family craft time, but as far as an actual YouTube channel, nah, I don't really want to. But Emmy really wants one, so yeah, so the room is going to be converted into our fun room, I guess. And I'm kind of excited about it.
It's going to be their laboratory.
It is. I'm kind of excited about it. I'm also kind of like having a panic attack already, missing the girls. But
well, I mean, we'll see if they actually stay gone.
I know. I said, well, when you come back, your bedroom's going to be painted pink. But I thought, you know what? I'm just going to leave it because they might be back by Christmas.
And it's a pretty color.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's kind of a burgundy. So, before we jump in and record, I do want to give a shout out to Lorna and Roland, who left us a super nice podcast review. And, like, seriously, it made me get a little choked up because it was really sweet. And it's funny that you guys listen to us when you put your kids to bed, because that's usually when I record. I put my kids to bed and I record.
I'm going to actually try to stick around for the full recording of this podcast this time.
Yeah. But I just wanted to add that you guys said that you wish that there was a way of getting older episodes, and there is. If you go to our website, hauntedfamilypodcast.com, you should be able to scroll back and listen to all the episodes there. And I don't know why all the old episodes aren't searchable on iTunes. If there is a tech-savvy person who is listening and knows why that is, please let us know, because I really would love to know. Some of my favorite older episodes is, I would say, definitely the Kurt Cobain episode from, was it last April?
The Kurt Cobain episode, actually, I know we had Hannah and Abby. Did Emmy come in for a brief cameo on that episode also?
I don't know. I want to say she did, but maybe not.
Yeah, that episode is the reason why we switched from our previous hosting site to Podbean.
Yes, because it was a 3-hour episode.
We needed a hosting site that was not going to break our episodes up.
Another one, Gacy, was when we were just starting to find our footing. I'd really kind of like to redo Gacy at some point, because I don't think that we really did it justice, because we kind of didn't know what we were doing.
We've mentioned before that we plan on slowly redoing a lot of our early episodes. So.
Oh yeah, like that whole first year was so awful that I would love to just redo all of those at some point.
If you've been with us since our first year, gold star.
Yeah, really. Like, you should let us know. We will send you something because you deserve it.
So actually, I want to make an announcement.
Okay.
Before we get too far into this episode, for those that remember, we actually had a video on our YouTube channel that hit over 100 views.
Yay!
But we're still lingering in the 20s as far as subscribers go. So we've decided that when we finally hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, we are going to do a giveaway.
Yay! I love giveaways. I love free stuff.
and the wonderful official merchandise Etsy shop of Haunted Family Podcast, also known as Holly's Etsy Shop, Cat Hair and Glitter.
What?
Will be the one making whatever item I decide to give away.
Listen, people, this week I listed mugshot coffee mugs. At the moment, I've got 2 different Ted Bundys listed. I've got just the last one that he had, and then a panel of 6. I've got a Dahmer listed. I don't know that I have Manson up yet.
But you've made a Manson.
But I have made a Manson, and I've got a whole bunch more that are ready to be fixed and uploaded onto the Etsy site. Eileen Wernos, Kemper, Berkowitz.
And she really wanted to donate a portion of every sale to the State Crime Lab to help work through the horrible backlog of rape kits, but unfortunately the state does not allow people to donate to that.
And that's so sad, because that was what I really, really wanted to do, is help get some of those taken care of.
So instead, a portion of every sale will be going to support a charity that is involved with sexual assault and sexual violence. I don't know if you've actually picked which charity you're going to be donating to yet, though.
I think I'm really leaning towards RAIN. That one really spoke to me. I love the work that they're doing. So more than likely, unless there is a listener with another suggestion, and we take suggestions, so hauntedfamilypodcast@gmail.com, or just drop us a message on Facebook or something. But that's what I'm thinking as of right now. I haven't sold any, so I got a little bit of time, I guess. What else was I gonna say?
But yeah, we've not picked what item we'll be giving away yet, but it'll be awesome because everything in her shop is awesome.
Well, I mean, I think so, but then again, I also make stuff that I want to wear or drink out of,
or that the girls want to
Abby
wear.
Said, right, like Abby was like, "Can Ted Bundy be my going away present?" Yeah, so I feel like there's something that I keep forgetting that I was going to say. Cannot for the life of me think of what it is, though. Oh, yes. Okay, so I have a funny story that actually Ernie just told me this evening, and I laughed. I laughed so hard that I spit Dr. Pepper out of my nose. But I'm sorry if you're eating and you're listening to that. But so his girls are visiting from Michigan. And so he was texting back and forth with their mom. You know how, like, when you're texting somebody, like when you're texting a couple different people and then you don't really pay attention to, like, the last name that you sent a message to, and you just send a message? Well, normally we're really the only people that text each other, because I message Heather on not through our phone. I mean, through our phone, but not through texting, because she gets terrible cell signal at her house. So he assumed that he was sending me a message, but he was really sending his ex-wife a message. And he said, "Guess what I just found on Amazon? 14 seasons of Forensic Files." And she was like, "Okay." And he was like, "Well, I thought you'd be more excited about that." And she was like, "Well, no, I don't really watch TV." And he was like, "I thought I knew you." And then he realized that he was texting his ex-wife and was like, "Oh, well, never mind. Sorry, I thought I was texting Holly, who would be very excited that there's 14 seasons of Forensic Files on Amazon." So when he told me, I was like, "Oh, that's great. We're going to have to watch all 14 seasons."
I picked up a book today on forensics. I went book shopping after my procedure.
I know, she got all kinds of witch books that I am dying to borrow from her.
Yeah. That was my reward for going to the dermatologist and letting them cut off suspicious spots.
So, actually, speaking of my Etsy shop, I have lots of shirts in my shop pertaining to this topic.
You do. And most of it, I think most of it is really because this is a topic that I'm really interested in.
Yeah, so you kind of asked me for them, so I made them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, I'm just like, whatever with the topic.
And, you know, I'm sure everyone who's actually read the title of this episode is like, why do they do this every episode? They drag it out.
I know, we act like
we don't know what
we act like they don't
about.
even listen. Yeah.
Kentucky, apparently, particularly the area of Kentucky that Holly lives in, the Daniel Boone National Forest, is supposed to be like a hotbed for Bigfoot activity.
Yeah, don't go camping, people. You will get eaten by Bigfoot.
Okay, but have you ever, while hiking in Daniel Boone National Forest, I almost said the Bigfoot National Forest. While hiking in the forest, and I know that the extent of your hiking in the forest is hiking to Lakiji. Have you ever seen Bigfoot?
I have never seen Bigfoot at Lakiji. But let's also be fair and say that the hiking that I do to get to Lakiji can hardly be considered hiking. I mean, yes, you do park your car and you do walk into the woods, but it is so heavily traveled by college students and people who actually just live in town, and then people getting engaged, and like Lakiji is awesome, but it's also so traveled that Bigfoot would have to be stupid to hang out near Lakiji.
Oh, and you can't forget, apparently Lakiji's also a hotbed for Satanists.
Oh yes, I'm sorry, because every time that I've been up there, I always get this overwhelming urge to, like, you know, do spells and stuff. No, I don't. One of the mysteries of Lakiji, though, is that somehow sorority girls are able to climb up that rock. Drunk, wearing short skirts and cowboy boots, and I have yet to figure out how that happens. And I've watched it, and I still can't figure out how they do it. So, yeah. Maybe... Actually, like, the Daniel Boone National Forest is also, like, right beside my house. Like, I can, like, reach across the road and touch it. But I obviously
because she's lazy.
Don't. Yeah. I can lay in my bed, open my window, and see it, but that's too much effort to, like, you know, walk across the street to it.
Kentucky has a fairly active Bigfoot group.
We have actually been meaning to go to the meetings, like just to hear stories.
Like within the next few weeks, they have like 2 or 3 lectures that they're doing at various public libraries. None close enough that I could go. Like, they're all, you know, a couple hours away, and I'm lazy.
Right.
But yeah, Kentucky has a very active and diligent Bigfoot research group.
Well, listen, I know that I have mentioned him on this podcast before, but I'm going to tell you that Greg Warren is hysterical, and he has this whole skit about hunting for Bigfoot, and you guys need to check it out. I know that he's got some stuff on iTunes, but he's also got some stuff on YouTube also. So, Greg Warren, Bigfoot, listen to it and thank me later.
Just type in Greg Warren in YouTube and you won't be disappointed.
Oh yeah, I mean, he comes within an hour of my house every year, and every year I go see him. He's that funny, but particularly the Bigfoot stuff, which really had nothing to do with our Bigfoot stories. I just wanted to, you know, throw that out there because he's awesome. Also want to say that I've never seen Bigfoot, obviously, but I did have a dream that I saw Bigfoot. Like, does that count? Can I use that as a Bigfoot story? Oh, come on. I was on my way to see Jimmy Buffett, which I did. I did see Jimmy Buffett, but I was on my way to a Jimmy Buffett concert, and I looked up on the hill, and there was Bigfoot. And I was like, hey, dude, there's Bigfoot. And Bigfoot was just staring at me, and I was trying to get my phone out to take a picture of him because, you know, all the pictures that you see of Bigfoot, he's like running away or he's blurry or whatever. But in my dream, he was just sitting there and he was just looking at me like, go ahead and take this picture, okay? And then, of course, as soon as I get my phone out, he's gone. So sad.
I have a friend, a very, reliable friend, who has a very, very believable Bigfoot story. And when he tells you the story, he still gets visibly emotional and shaken telling the story. And
he is not a special guest today.
Not.
So are you going to tell the story?
I don't remember all of the story. It happened when he was a child. And him and some of his friends were out playing, and they saw a creature. And then it turned out, like, years later, he looked a little bit into it and found out that around the time that him and his friends saw it, there was a rash of similar sightings in the area.
That's cool. I don't understand though, like, if Bigfoot is real, how have we not seen a body?
We have cougars in eastern Kentucky, and Fish and Wildlife still maintain that we don't. I have seen them physically. I have never come across a dead body of one in the woods.
Right. I just think that, like, that would be easier to decompose or something than Bigfoot. Because, I mean, if you've got a 7-foot tall furry man, what do they do when they die? And do you think that they're, like, sitting in the woods, like, watching us, like, trample through?
Okay. So here's a fun fact, since you're
being all skeptic.
Gorillas. They exist, right?
Yes. I'm actually going to go see some on Wednesday, which is my birthday. I'm going to the zoo.
Do you know that the mountain gorilla wasn't actually discovered until 1902? Think about that. I mean, Africa's pretty populated.
Right.
There's been Bigfoot sightings in every state of the United States, with the exception of Hawaii.
Right.
And there's been Bigfoot sightings on almost every continent.
True. It's probably too hot in Hawaii for a Bigfoot.
There's probably, like, if you really dig into it, some ancient Hawaiian legend about them, like, driving all of the Bigfoots into the ocean or something. I don't actually think there is, but that would be an awesome legend.
It would be.
But I mean, even Native Americans had legends of a race of giant ape-like creatures inhabiting North America. So I think that there's definitely a possibility.
I'm not saying that there's not, because I mean, I also believe in aliens, and I've never seen one. Well, I have seen one of them, but I mean, I believe in things I don't see. I believe in ghosts. I mean, sometimes I see them, but I don't know. I just have such a hard time believing that there's Bigfoot, big feet. What's the plural of a Bigfoot?
Big feeted?
There is a tribe of
big feet eye
Yetis. I just have a hard time believing that there is a Bigfoot family living, like, around me, and
you've never came across one, or your ex-husband has never ran over one on the interstate.
Correct. Like, how has that not happened?
I'm not closed off to the possibility of it. I would love to know one way or the other if there is one. I think there's a lot more evidence, hard evidence, that aliens exist.
True. Okay, well, let's talk about some stories.
So as we were getting ready for this episode, I was stumbled across an article. I'm sure most of our listeners know who Rob Lowe is, right? Yes. Okay.
Yes, the actor.
What? He acts? Okay.
Yes. Well, he did in the 80s.
He still does. I don't know what he's actually in right now, because I don't watch much TV. That's not Food Network. But
Or 14 seasons of Forensic Files.
No, actually, I was watching Ghost Adventures the other night. I don't know how many of our listeners watch Ghost Adventures, but those guys were cracking me up. One of the guys, what's his name? Adam, maybe? Had a...
Sounds
and
right.
I am not, these are not my words. These are the words from Ghost Adventures. A level 5 freak out. No, sorry, a level 5 panic because something was stomping. That's literally like everyday ghostly occurrence at Holly's house.
Seriously.
I mean, and I would say that for most people who have like a fairly active haunted house, that's like common. That's like a you just yell into the next room and tell your ghost to shut up type thing.
Truth.
Okay, so back to Rob Lowe.
Actually, Rob Lowe is currently in Grindr.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know either. He is in Code Black. It's a show on CBS. I don't watch that either. Pocket Listing. He was on Parks and Recreation. So he's doing stuff. It's just not stuff I'm watching. Sorry about that, Rob Lowe. Totally loved you in St. Elmo's Fire, though. And The Outsiders. Okay. Continue.
Apparently, Rob Lowe actually kind of believes in Bigfoot and has went out trying to find Bigfoot. Yes.
Really?
He said that him and his sons decided that they were going to try to find Bigfoot. So they set up. I'm guessing they set up, somewhere in the Hollywood Hills or somewhere similar. And he said in the interview, at the end of the day on Bigfoot, we found ourselves in some pretty hairy stuff. Legitimately. Wait until you see the episode. I'm guessing he filmed this for something. And you'll have to be your own judge. I look at things and go, could it be a hoax? Completely. Is a lot of it a hoax? For sure. But for it to be utter hoax, it'd have to be someone hoaxing people for hundreds of years across many different cultures, across many different geological locations. And maybe everybody had that idea and did it. But what we actually came across in that episode, I was actually on the ground and I was actually scared. And then he goes on to say, I'd rather live in a world where Bigfoot exists than where he doesn't.
Why? Does Bigfoot make us safer?
Maybe he just likes the idea of America having its very own ape.
Yeah, I guess. I just can't believe that my dream story of Bigfoot doesn't count.
Apparently female Bigfoots have breasts.
Well, I mean, yeah. How are they going to nurse their babies? It's not like they could go into Walmart and get some formula.
Well, I mean, they might. I've seen some Bigfoot-looking women in Walmart.
That is so true. Who am I to judge?
I'm sorry if you're a woman who looks like Bigfoot and you've been to my Walmart. I don't mean to make fun of you. No, I'm fine with people going in Walmart looking however, as long as you're fully clothed. But I've seen some people in Walmart with their nipples hanging out. Females with their nipples hanging out. I don't want to see your nipples in Walmart. And for that matter, I don't want to see your vagina in Walmart either. So can we just have shirts? Can we have skirts and shorts that cover your vagina? That's all I'm asking people. Your nipples covered, your vagina's covered. I'm not even asking for modesty. I'm just saying cover the goods. Just like bare minimum.
I wouldn't even mind the nipples showing if they're actually feeding a baby. But like if you just really need to put a bra on,
yeah,
that's a whole different thing. So here is a story from the Animal Planet website. 1:30 in the morning on January the 8th, 2008. There is a tractor trailer driver that is hauling a load of Idaho potatoes.
Woo!
Yeah, from I-15 down to someplace I cannot pronounce. But it's in Utah. And he's going down an incline, and it's pretty foggy, and he sees that there's something on the side of the road, and its eyes is glowing. So at first he thought it was a deer, and he switched on his high beams. He did not see a deer. Instead, he saw a gigantic creature running across the road from left to right, and it was taking big, long strides. He said about 20 feet or so away was this creature, and he thought that, basing on how high his truck was and the distance, he thought that it was going to be between 8 and 10 feet and between 600 and 800 pounds. Black hair, big eyebrows, long lanky arms, and the arms were proportionally a lot longer than a human's. Turned its head and looked at him and then just kept on going. The driver told the investigator that he had always been skeptical, but that he actually believes that that's what he saw.
I'm kind of disappointed. I've done a ton of driving. I've done a ton of not driving. And I'm kind of disappointed that I've never seen a Bigfoot.
I try to avoid not driving at all costs. For this very reason, what if I break down on the side of the road and Bigfoot breaks into my car and eats me?
What if Bigfoot helps you change your tire, though?
But he probably wouldn't. He'd probably be like, oh, I'm hungry and I can't go to Walmart because I am a big hairy beast. And they would...
What if you have a total Harry and the Hendersons moment?
Have you ever actually watched that movie? I don't want a Harry and the Hendersons moment. He stunk. And he destroyed their house. Okay, this is also a story from the Animal Planet website. So, August 29th, 2011, a lady took her Whippet puppies outside to use the bathroom, and she heard a whistling sound. And it sounded like kind of like when she was trying to get the doggies' attention. She thought that it might have been one of her other pets, like a parrot. And then one of her older dogs, an Australian Shepherd, started barking. And there was a rustling sound nearby in the forest. So she looked up, and there was a tall, hairy creature, about 8 to 9 feet tall. And then when it saw her, it stepped back into the trees. So now I can't even take the dogs outside to use the bathroom for fear that Bigfoot is watching me.
Holly, you live in a residential area with a major road right beside your house.
Yes.
Bigfoot is not watching you. Bigfoot
Be.
would have to walk down a main road to get to you.
And
he would cause a major traffic jam. Somebody would actually run over him before he'd get to you.
Probably. We did have a bear running down the road like not too long ago. It was crazy.
Okay, well, I have a story
Okay.
from the website bigfootbase.com. A professional tracker, not a Bigfoot tracker, an animal tracker, actually wrote this one. He says, I am a professional backcountry tracker and scout. I used to work for the U.S. Forestry Service, which is why I didn't want my name used. In June of 2016, I was tasked to do a bear count in the Cascade Mountains of Washington State. It was there that I first came in contact with what the Forest Service calls the North American gorilla. I didn't even know the Forest Service had a name for this.
I didn't either.
But apparently the Forest Service...
I also didn't know that the Forest Service hired trackers to go count bears.
They did.
You would think that they would have them tagged or something.
Not all of them. On the morning of June 4th, the tracker walked a half mile down Bald Eagle Ridge Trail. Observed signs of potential large animal crossing back and forth across the path. The rocky terrain made it difficult to determine the exact animal that created the tracks. The evidence disappeared at the edge of a steep ravine. It was then that I saw a large animal standing on the other side of the creek, about 40 feet away. It was at least 7 to 8 feet tall and looked to be close to 700 pounds. I could hardly believe what I was seeing. The creature then looked at us and released a gut-wrenching scream. It leaned down, picked up the carcass of a full-grown black bear, and with ungodly grace and strength only a giant could wield, slung the bear over its shoulder, and effortlessly walked up the near vertical slope and disappeared into the thick tree line.
Crazy. I mean, I know that there are a lot of stories. A lot of people have seen it. But still, I just don't know. I guess for one thing, it's because it's always the pictures are always blurry, or he's always running away, or it's always just like a little piece of hair or something.
Okay, here's one for you. This story is courtesy of KentuckyBigfoot.com.
Okay.
And it was from a ghost hunt weekend. Okay, this story actually comes courtesy of your town.
Moorhead?
Yes. Only the person who typed it in misspelled Moorhead.
That's easy to do.
They put double O's.
Then they're probably not actually from Moorhead.
Yeah. The title is Ghost Hunt Weekend Expedition. Cave Run Lake trails off of the dam parking lot. So when we've been there, we broke into 3 teams, each taking a trail. As soon as my team entered the bottom trail, the trail to the right, we heard 2 very loud, okay, yeah, I'm reading that correctly, 2 very loud home run knocks. I radioed the other teams to see if they had made them unannounced, and they said no. We tried to knock back, so I'm guessing it's like knocking on trees or something. I don't know. We tried to knock back, but no reply. After about 10 minutes, another group on the middle trail announced that they would make a howl. Our group heard it loud and clear. Then, almost immediately, from their direction, we heard movement coming towards us. A series of amazing whoops. The whoops sounded like a young chimp, moving rapidly in distress. Whoop, whoop, whoop. It moved across the trail in front of us, from left to right, towards a large hollow to our right, maybe 100 yards in front of us. We all stopped and listened in astonishment. Everyone in my group heard of them. It made 11 whoops in total. We continued cautiously down the trail. A few minutes later, a very loud thud hit the embankment on our right, stopping all of us in our tracks. We did not hear whatever. It sounded like a watermelon-sized rock dropped on the ground. I've heard this thud on investigations. Unfortunately, we did not have thermal imager with us. These were the best whoops I've heard in person or recorded. So I'm guessing it's Bigfoot investigators, even though it says ghost hunt weekend.
Unless they were looking for the ghost of Bigfoot.
I don't know. It says at the Cave Run Lake, the trail's just off the dam parking lot. So I'm thinking about where we took Abby's prom pictures that once. And that's one of the stories from your county.
There's some horse trails over there.
I think so. Let's see if there's one from my county.
Okay.
Oh, actually there's one from my town.
Really?
Okay, this story takes place in November of 1987. I was squirrel hunting with a childhood friend. I was around 14 or 15, and he was around 12 or 13. We made our way up to some cliff rocks near a gas pipeline right away that was side cut below us, and decided to sit down around some oak trees and wait for some squirrels. He ran around one side of the cliff, and I walked around to the other. About 30 minutes, I heard leaves rustling behind me, and the squirrels got spooked and ran off. I dropped my gun and said, "Darn it, Gary, you scared off a squirrel." And then, from up above me, on the opposite side of the sound, Gary said, "That wasn't me." He had made his way to the top of the cliff, and the sound I heard was from the bottom of the cliff. Being kids and loving to shoot our guns, we both had the same thought. Maybe the sound was made by something to shoot at, like a squirrel or a fox or a groundhog. So we ran over towards the noise, ready to throw our guns up and shoot. What we saw left us dumbfounded to this day. It was already running away from us when we got there, but it was some type of hairy animal on 2 legs running down the hill towards the pipeline. It must have been at least 6'5" or 7 foot, close to 3 feet across the shoulders, and had huge stride in its run. It covered 5 yards at a time in 2 or 3 gates. It was at the pipeline. It took a leap, and when it got to the pipeline and cleared the other side of the timber, we could hear it running for a long ways from us through the leaves and brush. Me and Gary ran all the way home and never really talked about it for a couple months. I guess we didn't want to believe what we seen. Finally, we talked about it and decided it must have been Bigfoot. We never told many people about it because they always laugh at us and try to convince us we'd seen a bear or something. After all these years, I can still say for sure it wasn't anything I'd ever seen before or since. And I've spent a lot of time in those woods. I'm not saying it was Bigfoot for sure, because it never smelled the stench that's mentioned in so many other reports. But other than that, it was the only description that we see that fits. Interesting.
It is.
Because, that one's from, within a mile or two of me.
Wow. See, maybe that's some of the stuff that you hear outside.
Maybe that's why I'm so afraid of the barn.
Maybe.
Or it could be because the barn is way up on the hill.
Maybe. Do you have to go there by yourself?
Rarely. Although I did hear something really weird up towards the barn maybe a month or so ago. And every time I would bring somebody else out of the house to hear it, or would try to record it, it'd stop.
That's weird.
Yeah. Never heard an animal make that sound before, though. It was weird. I'm not saying that was Bigfoot. I'm saying that, I've just never heard an animal make that sound before. It was probably like an owl or something, though.
Right. Well, this year, for the first time ever, we had a community in Kentucky host a Bigfoot festival. Because Anderson County, Kentucky, which, by the way, Anderson County's band won state finals last year. So, woot woot to you guys. But, yeah, they also have a Bigfoot festival because they have had the most sightings of Bigfoot in the state of Kentucky.
Yes, there are 16 reports on KentuckyBigfoot.com. And when you go to Bigfoot Field Researcher Organization and you click on reports and you click on Kentucky, there are several there. For Anderson County, yeah, so Anderson County, you are...
I've got 27.
For which group?
Bigfoot Research Organization. According to the Kentucky Herald Leader, Lexington Herald Leader, says that they've had 27. And then Bullock County has had 26. Ohio County, Carter County, and Adair County have all had 26. Carter County is actually right beside me. So crazy. So the Kentucky Bigfoot Research Organization thinks that the reason that there have been so many sightings in those areas is because they are heavily dense with forest. Of course, they also answered my question on why do we not find any dead bodies, and their thought is that they bury them.
That would make sense. I know I've seen some reports. Most of this is from TV shows and stuff, that some people report that Bigfoot can go invisible.
Weird.
But that kind of makes me wonder about people, though. Not saying that they're crazy, but wondering how much time they spend in the woods. Because if you're not familiar with how well animals can camouflage themselves, you can think that an animal is invisible. You can be in the woods and you can be within 6 feet of a deer, and you might not even know it's there. You can be within a foot of a snake and not know it's there.
I could be on top of a snake and not know it's there.
Because animals are really good at camouflage. They have great natural camouflage, and they are good at blending into their environment. I've seen some reports that Bigfoot might be aliens.
But doesn't it make more sense that they're just not an evolved?
It makes more sense that they are just a North American species of ape. I believe in aliens. We have talked about that on the show, and it makes more sense for them to just be an ape.
Right.
I don't know why people need to make things more complicated than they really are. The simplest explanation is usually best explanation.
That's true. We had so many stupid criminals last week that it was so very hard for me to pick.
Yes.
So
I got to set that out because I was in the bathroom.
Well, I picked the lady who bit the other girl's finger in West Virginia. Mm-hmm. And then I told them the story of my fight on the school bus.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because it involved me biting somebody.
I think I found one. It is none from last week, though.
Okay.
It's a brand new one. And this is from one of our favorite states.
Florida.
No.
New Jersey?
Nope. Okay.
Ohio?
Well, the guy is from our favorite state. A Plaistow... this happened in Plaistow, New Hampshire, though. A Massachusetts man apparently learned the hard way that the judgment-free zone philosophy at Planet Fitness only goes so far. This story is courtesy of CBS in Pittsburgh. Apparently, 34-year-old Eric Stagno was walking around Planet Fitness in Plaistow completely buck naked.
Oh, Lord.
He ain't got no clothes on. Before settling in on the yoga mats.
Ew.
Yeah. Officers arrived to find him nude on his knees doing yoga poses.
Ew. Nobody wants to see that.
He was arrested without incident and charged with indecent exposure and lewdness and disorderly conduct. The only statement that he made to cops was that he thought that the chain slogan was that it was a judgment-free zone.
Oh,
He is due in court on September 21st.
Oh, that's terrible.
So,
people, wear clothes to the
yeah,
gym.
Wear clothes. I mean, like, and this goes for like Walmart too. Cover your goods. Cover your bits. No one wants to see you're all together hanging out. And it doesn't matter how good you look. It doesn't. I mean, I don't know. Some people might want to see nakedness at the gym. I've never actually been to a gym. You know why I've never been to a gym?
Because gyms are not fun.
Bingo. I would much rather get my exercise in hunting Bigfoot. I like Bigfoot. I think that if I find out that we have a Bigfoot hunting group in Johnson County, I might join them.
I can honestly say I probably would not, just because
that
I don't
involve
want to be
hiking in
in
the outdoors after dark.
I mean, yes, I hike, but I don't hike.
They can like plant you on top of Lakiji, and you can be like, I'll make sure no Bigfoot comes to Lakiji.
So, like we said, go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. You will not only get all of these episodes that we are recording, but you'll also get Heather's bonus episodes of various stories on various topics every week.
Yeah, all true stories.
When we get 1,000 subscribers, we will do a really super fun giveaway.
They're all true stories. Weekly. Very fun. I'm putting a lot of effort into it. Make me happy. Subscribe to our YouTube.
Anyway, thanks for listening. Subscribe to our YouTube. Use our Podbean affiliate code if you decide to start your own podcast. It's Haunted Family PB. And visit my Etsy shop, Cat Hair Glitter, for like all of your crazy shirt needs and true crime coffee mugs and stuff like that.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
If you liked this episode, please take a moment to rate and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcast fix. You can also show your love by giving us a shout out on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. We are Haunted Family Podcast everywhere. You can also tweet us by going to hauntedfamilypodcast.com/tweet. For merchandise, please go to Holly's Etsy shop, etsy.com/cathairglitter. If you have a stupid criminal, paranormal story, or true crime suggestion, email us at hauntedfamilypodcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Thanks for listening.